Mini lesson 4A, 2D shapes. On this first page, we have various shapes, their perimeter formulas, and their area formulas. We have a circle with the circumference is the whole perimeter, and then arc length could be a part of the perimeter. Then we have area and then sector area, which could be a piece of the area of the circle. We have a triangle. We have just a regular triangle with unspecified side lengths, and then we have an equilateral triangle. And then we have the area formulas. Parallelograms, rectangles, squares, rhombuses, kites, trapezoids, regular pentagons, and then just any regular polygon could follow these formulas right here. The perimeter is P equals N times S, where N is the number of sides and S is the value of each side length. For the area, we have 1/2 A times P, where capital P is the perimeter of the figure and A is the apothem, the height of the triangles. On this first one, it's a trapezoid. We want to find the perimeter, height, and then the area. The perimeter is the distance around, so we could just add those numbers together. The perimeter is 56. To get the height, we are going to use Pythagorean theorem. This length is 10, and so there's 10 remaining, and half of that is 5. To find the height, we use Pythagorean theorem. 5 squared plus h squared equals 13 squared. 25 plus h squared equals 169. Subtract 25 from each side. H squared equals 144. Find the square root. So h, the height, is going to be 12. Now to find the area, let's recall the area formula for a trapezoid from the previous page. A equals h times b1 plus b2 all over 2. A equals the height 12 times the two bases, 10 plus 20 all over 2. $180 would be the area. For the next one, we have two shapes put together in here. It's a composite figure. We have a circle and we have a square. To find the perimeter, it's the distance around. This is going to be 9 centimeters. And we want to find the circumference of this whole circle to get both sides of these two half circles. Circumference is 2 pi r. R is half of the diameter, so it's 9 over 2. 2 pi times 9 over 2 equals 9 pi. So the perimeter is going to be this plus the squares side length, which is 18. 9 pi plus 18. And we found the radius earlier. It was 9 over 2. The area To find the area of a square, it is side squared. And then to find the area of a circle, it is pi r squared. Let's plug in the values. 9 squared plus pi times 9 over 2 squared. 9 times 9 is 81, and 2 times 2 is 4. 81 over 4 pi plus 9 times 9 is 81. That's our area of this shape. If the length of a rectangle is 8 more than the width and the perimeter is 112, find the length, width, area, and diagonal. So the perimeter of this would be the distance around. We have a W over here and a W plus 8 on this side. We have 4W plus 16 equals 112. Let's subtract 16 from each side. 96, divide each side by 4 to get W equals 24. So that's the width. To get the length, it's just 24 plus 8, which is 32. The area is length times width. 32 times 24 equals 768. And then for the diagonal, we want to draw out a right triangle and use Pythagorean theorem. The width is 24, the length is 32, and we want to find the diagonal D. 24 squared plus 32 squared equals D squared. So it'd be 576 plus 1024 equals D squared. Add these together. So you get 1600 equals D squared. Take the square root of both sides, and then you'll get D equals 40. So diagonal is 40. Find the area under the curve. If we draw a line right here, we have familiar shapes. We have two trapezoids. Let's recall the area of a trapezoid. A equals the height times base 1 plus base 2 all over 2. Let's label the bases and the heights. It looks like the base of this one is 4, the base of this one right here is 3, and the height is 2. For the second trapezoid, the height is now this 3, and then we have our bases of 1, and for this one it's going to be 5 minus 2, that's 3. Let's plug them into the formula and add the two areas together. We have the height of the first one, which is 2 times 3 plus 4 all over 2, plus the second trapezoid area. The height is 3, and then the two bases is 1 plus 3 all over 2. Okay, so for these, the 2's cancel here, and this is 7. This is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then let's rewrite that. 7 plus 3 times 2 is 6. 13. 13 is the area under the curve. A wheel 27 inches in diameter rolls along a line. How many inches does the wheel roll along the line in 32 revolutions? There could be multiple correct answers on here depending on the formula used. But for today, we're going to use the circumference and multiply it by 32. The circumference formula is 2 pi r. And then we're going to find after 32 revolutions what that is. 2 pi times 27 over 2 to get that radius instead of diameter. And then we're going to multiply that by 32. The 2's cancel, and then we have 864 pi, which is about 2,714.34 inches. The diagonal of a rectangular garden is 15 feet, and one side is 9 feet. What is the perimeter of the garden? Let's draw a rectangle. The diagonal is 15 feet, and one of the sides is 9 feet. To find the other side length, and call it L, we can use Pythagorean theorem. 9 squared plus L squared equals 15 squared. 81 plus L squared equals 225. Subtract 81 from each side. And then we get L squared equals 144. Take the square root of each side. And then the length is going to equal 12 feet. To find the perimeter, you add the distance around. 12 plus 12 plus 9 plus 9. He equals 42 feet. A certain rectangle is 5 times as long as it is wide. Suppose the length and width are both tripled. If the width of the smaller rectangle is 4 feet, what is the perimeter and area of the larger rectangle? Let's draw a rectangle first. It says that's 4 feet wide, and the rectangle is 5 times as long as it is wide. That's 20 feet. The length and the width are both tripled. 4 times 3 would be 12. And then 20 times 3 is 60. To find the perimeter, we're going to add all 4 sides together. 12 plus 12 plus 60 plus 60. 144. Oliver is purchasing carpet tiles to cover an area of his living room floor that is 8 1/3 feet wide by 10 feet long. Each carpet tile is a square 20 inches wide by 20 inches long. What is the minimum number of carpet tiles that Oliver must purchase to cover this area of his living room floor? The first thing we want to do is convert these feet into inches. Let's recall that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Then we can multiply each of these by 12. 8 1/3 to change it to an improper fraction. 8 times 3 plus 1. 25/3. And then we're going to multiply that by 12. Well, 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 25 is 100. So it's 100 inches. And then the other would be 10 times 12, which is 120 inches. We find the area of this, 100 times 120 is 12,000. If each carpet square is 20 inches by 20 inches, that's 400 square inches for each tile. So to get the minimum number of carpet tiles, we'll divide those two numbers. 12,000 divided by 400 is going to be 30. 30 tiles. Marcia's horse's rectangular corral is 50 feet wide by 125 feet long. Marcia wants to increase the area by 1,850 square feet by increasing the width and length by the same amount. What will be the new dimensions in feet? So we could draw a rectangle here. 50 plus something, and then 125 plus that same something. And then the area would equal the original area plus 1,850. That'd be 8,100 now. To find the new dimensions, we're going to multiply them and solve for the x. 50 plus x times 125 plus x equals 8,100. So 6,250 plus 50x plus 125x plus x squared equals 8,100. Combine like terms and bring everything to one side to get. If we factor this, we can get x minus 10 times x plus 185. And the only possible answer here would be x equals 10. You wouldn't have a negative x value here because that would make these into negative lengths. So if x is 10, to get the length of the width, we're going to add 10 to each of these numbers. The new dimensions of feet would be 135 feet long and then by 60 feet wide. A circular lamp base has a radius of 3.5 inches. When placed on a flat table with a rectangular surface of 4 feet by 6 feet, approximately what percentage of area does a lamp occupy? So let's draw these out. We have a rectangular table surface, 4 feet by 6 feet, and then a lamp that has a radius of 3.5 inches. First of all, let's convert these feet to inches. 6 feet is the same thing as 6 times 12 inches, which is 72 inches. 4 feet is the same thing as 48 inches. Let's find the area of the rectangle. 72 times 48. 3,456 square inches. And let's find the area of the lamp. It's pi r squared, pi times 3.5 squared. And that's going to be approximately 38.485 inches squared. To find the percentage that the lamp occupies, you'll divide those and then multiply by 100. Which is about 1.11%. You have enough material to build a fence 120 feet long. If you use it all to enclose a square region, how many square feet will you enclose? If we draw a square and the perimeter is 120 feet, each side length would have to be a fourth of that. That's 30 feet. Area is going to be 30 squared, which is 900. On the blueprint for Roger's house, 1/4 inch represents the actual length of 1 foot. What is the area in square feet of Roger's rectangular living room, which is 3 inches by 4 1/4 inches on the blueprint? Let's convert these to feet using the blueprint scale. We're going to divide each of these by 1/4 of an inch. 3 divided by 1/4 would be the same thing as 3 times 4. That's equal to 12. 12 feet. And then if we change this to an improper fraction, that's 16 plus 1, 17 over 4. 17 over 4 divided by 1/4 would be 17 over 4 times 4. The 4's cancel, and you have 17 feet. To find the area, you would multiply those together. 12 times 17. 204 square feet. Jason has been hired to build a circular wading pool in his neighbor's backyard. The rectangular backyard measures 60 feet wide by 50 feet long. Jason's neighbors wants the pool at least 8 feet from the edge of the backyard all around. How long should the radius of the pool be in feet? We're going to find the largest possible radius for this pool. It says 8 feet from the edge of the backyard all around. So we have 8 right here, 8 right here, 8 right here, and then 8 right here. And we're going to draw a pool from there. That's going to be circular. So now we have a remaining length of 60 minus 16, 44 feet. And then the width is going to be 50 minus 16, 34 feet. And for it to be a circle, it needs to take the smaller length here and half of that, which is 17 feet. So the radius of the pool in feet would be, has to be less than 17 feet or equal to that. The area of a rectangular kitchen is 80 square feet. If the length of the floor is 4 feet less than 4 times the width, what is the width of the floor in feet? We have an area of 80 square feet. It says the length is 4 less than 4 times the width. 4W minus 4. We find the area of this is set equal to 80. We solve for W. W times 4W minus 4 equals 80. Let's distribute 4W squared minus 4W minus 80 equals 0. Let's divide everything by 4 since they're all divisible by 4. W squared minus W minus 20 equals 0. Let's factor this. Two numbers that multiply to negative 20 and they subtract to negative 1. It's going to be a minus 5 and plus 4. The width would have to be the positive answer, so the width is equal to 5 feet. And if we wanted to know what the length is, we'll just plug that into the length expression.